Talk about it all here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button.
You know, one thing about Jaden that I've tried to talk to him about is tightening his chin strap. Because he doesn't tighten it, so every time he gets hit, it looks like his helmet's all messed up. And it's like, oh, God, he just got rocked.
For the win! Caught! It's gone! LSU does it!
After fucking Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, boys. Are you kidding me?
Well, LSU fan came stuck his spike in my booty.
That motherfucker hard!
Fan brought his 2 grandkids by and literally was just 30 seconds, just wanted to say thank you for the team and the season and what you did and how much it means to everybody here is truly what makes LSU special.
Yeah. Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question. I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we live, we open up the phone lines. Come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go! All right. Big start. Big day. Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Look at Lopez. He doesn't even.
Welcome in and good morning on this opening day edition of the Jordy Culotta Show as baseball is up and running in the pros. But it's been up and running in the college ranks as LSU has Mississippi State this weekend. Getting you ready for that today. Pro day yesterday. LSU spring practice availability today as well. That is why Christian is not here. No Christian Mingle update today as he is at the practice field. Seems like it went well. He said, what was his text last night?
What did he say? Take a cold shower.
He said, gonna be up late. I said, oh, day going well?
Still going.
He said, I'm here so I don't get fined. And then the putt-putt was still going at about 9:50. So it was funny. We walked into the LSU
Never
indoor.
called it putt-putt before.
Really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Putt-putt.
Putt-putt.
I guess everybody's got different names for it. Hokey pokey.
Mm-hmm.
We walk into the LSU practice facility yesterday and get approached by like 3 different media members that all come up to Christian and are like, "You ready for tonight?" It was the best, and it's funny how his face, like he instantly boom,
he gets so red.
Like the second we walked into the facility, they're asking him about the putt-putt, and
that was outfit ready.
This is the segment that's got the most run out of anything we do. It is awesome. So
somebody was like, she actually is listening, right?
Yeah,
and
like she's telling you she's not.
He's like, I didn't think about it.
Yep.
I was like, no, you haven't thought about anything you've
At
done
all.
yet. But good content.
It is.
Christian Tingle.
Yeah, Christian Mingle. He we'll find out everything that went down because they're hanging out again tonight at the baseball game. So tomorrow we'll get a real update on the Christian Mingle segment.
In the wild, feel free to send in clips.
Yes, if you have any pictures or videos, if you're going to the game tonight and you find Christian in the wild, I'm assuming he'll be in the student section, but I don't know for sure. Jason Tiger 7171 putt for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure if you see a wild Christian,
always wear a glove.
Carl Dunn, I knew I should have went by Surge after being across the street at Elite. You should have ran across. See
Made it a threesome.
Oh my God.
That's what they call it in golf. There's a twosome, threesome, foursome, fivesome if you're lucky, and then you can play some wolf and hammer.
Lord have mercy. But yeah, we'll get the update from Christian tomorrow. LSU Pro Day was yesterday. And I'll tell you what, there was one guy that stood out above everybody else. I'm sure you've seen the content on Twitter and Instagram and all the social medias. One Josh Williams. We get started with the vertical first. He steps up. They get it all lined up. And he hits, every single one of the little bars. And so they're like, okay, we're going to have to jump this up a little bit, make it a little bit taller for him. He does it again. He gets about to the top again. Then they bump it up again. He goes up there, get 42-inch vertical by Josh Williams. Turns around, they go broad jump. I think he goes 10-2.
10-3.
10-3. But before the broad jump, he's getting ready to go. Drops the pants.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes kind of quiet. Broad jumps. Then we get over to the 40. He lines up. He kind of slips on the first try. Walks back. This is when everyone went quiet.
It went quiet.
Was he pulls his shirt off and you could hear a pin drop. Because this guy looked like he was something out of a comic book when he took his shirt off.
Everybody's a little bit jealous.
Lloyd at one point was like, oh, how's he got so big? I was like, well, he has been in LSU's weight program for quite a long time. As he was a member of the 2019 team. I mean, look at this guy.
It is like carved out of granite.
Yeah, etched out of stone.
There is not a % of body fat on this man. Like you could hit a 9-iron off his stomach and not
freak,
leave a divot.
Bro. Like
I didn't know he had it like that.
He took that shirt off and everybody kind of gulped.
Yeah, and it couldn't be a funnier group of people to be watching somebody that looks like that because everybody in the media is disgusting. And so we're all like, damn.
Yeah, like Lloyd pulled this move. He took it off, Lloyd went.
What happened to me?
Yeah, why don't I look like that?
What are we on?
Tell you what, I saw that yesterday. I actually went straight to the gym after Pro Day and then ran 2 miles because I. How do I look like that? because he runs a 4.45, which was impressive, but the most impressive part was he did it looking like Thor's hammer. He is a monster of a man.
But good for him.
Yeah,
like
no,
we
100%.
obviously went to pro day expecting like who were some guys we wanted to watch, like who's going to
right,
go through
Kyron and Mason and Emery.
Is Emery Jones going to do anything?
Right,
like,
all these things.
Mason Taylor, does he have to?
Right.
And you saw Mason Taylor get on the bench press and absolutely demolish
28
it.
reps.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. But then like Josh Williams like kind of stole the show. And it started with the vertical, wherever they measure their arm and then they put the thing according to, I don't know how they do it.
Right.
But after his first jump where he touched every single piece of plastic,
Yes.
they're like, hold on, we have to reset this. And everybody's like, whoa, okay, like you have my attention now.
Right.
And then he jumps again and it's like, whoa. And you hear like the number. And when it's a good time or good score, they say it a little bit louder, like 42. We're like, okay. Like, is he going to run? Like,
right.
Yeah, this
Runs
is now.
it once.
Yeah, and then he runs the 4.4, and he, like, after he finishes, it's quiet because everybody's like kind of. Did you get what I?
Yeah.
All you hear is after he finishes, and he hears something, he goes, "Quit fucking with me!" And we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like I've never even heard you talk.
Right. Yeah. Like it was.
Like he went there with a mindset of I'm going to get drafted today,
Yep.
and I think that's probably what's going to happen. We always have pinned him as a like NFL football
pro.
player. Like
Yeah.
because Caskey had it right the first time he saw him play. He's like, I've coached running backs for how long? Coached in the NFL, coached in college. He's like, that's what a pro does. Like, regardless of if he gets drafted or not, he's going to make a football team. After you run a 4.45 and jump 42 and have a broad jump of 10.3, now you're on people's radar. And he's going to go and whether it be the 5th round, he's now going to get drafted.
Yeah. No, I mean, in our mind, he was always a 58 guy. Like, he was going to make a 58-man roster because, like Lloyd said, Caskey from day one has been like, Josh Williams is a professional running back. An NFL team is going to fall in love with Josh Williams, and rightfully so. He does everything by the book. He's a leader. Go back to the clip against, Florida last year, where he blows up the edge rusher on an end-around play. He's basically a 6th offensive lineman the way he can pass block, and he runs hard every single time he gets the football. Go back to the Alabama game in 2022. Huge third down runs when you need them, breaking tackles. And now with these numbers, he might have just put himself in the conversation to get drafted. Like, hear his name called because, one, look at him.
Look at the legs.
I mean, dude.
Skying.
Like, this is one thing the pro day could do better is just announce the results, when they happen. So there's not conjecture, but they announced his numbers because everybody was kind of in awe with what they were watching. He stole the show yesterday.
No doubt. Look at that quad.
Like, absolutely stole
there.
the show. Some NFL team's going to get real lucky with him in a later round.
Should be the Saints.
I would love for it to be the Saints because he is one beyond. He's a very impressive human being. Like, he's got like a doctorate at LSU, and he's the leader on and off the field. And then you see just the work ethic he obviously has. Because I tell you what, as much as we're saying he's been in LSU's weight program for however long, you don't look like that without getting after it every single time you have the opportunity. Outside of just the LSU workouts that are written into the schedule. I mean, he's got tree trunk thighs. He's got calves the size of a baseball, a softball, a football. And he looks like an Avenger running full speed at
fake.
4.5 or 4.45.
Looks like when Baby Gronk put on the skin suit. It's like, kind of pull on it. Is that real? Yep. Good for you, man.
I mean,
if he doesn't play football, he's gonna. I mean, he could go join that guy on Duncan.
Yeah, Ashton Hall.
Yeah, he can do that.
He's gonna start doing morning routines.
That's what it looks like, Natty.
That was Christian. Christian was like, I mean, Josh could really just become a fitness influencer. Like he said
really
it.
Could.
He said it out loud. And all the media members were kind of like,
not wrong.
I mean, I guess he's right. That was my favorite thing is in some of these clips from Pro Day, you can just hear Christian yapping behind the video.
He made friends with some older gentleman.
And I was like,
oh, look, a mentor.
Christian was like, make sure you like mute or put music behind the Pro Day stuff because I was like, no. I was like, they're going to hear everything you said. At one point, he starts talking about Ronnie Coleman. And like while Josh Williams is running, I was like, I mean, I guess bodybuilding is the right conversation to have right now. And so beyond, I mean, a super impressive day for Josh Williams yesterday as he stole the show at LSU Pro Day, which had a lot of eyes on it, even without Will Campbell working out. Emory Jones with an injury. He had a sling on yesterday, I believe. Braden Swinson didn't work out. But Josh Williams, Mason Taylor, Kyron Lacey, they were obviously the stars of the show. But then you had Gio Paez, Paris Shand, who else was out there? Savion Jones, Greg Penn, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, all out there. But Josh Williams was the star of the show yesterday. His official numbers, he's 5'8", 3/8", 196, 4.45, hands 9 3/4, a 42-inch vertical. Would have been the second highest vertical at the NFL Combine this year. Would have been the third highest in the history of the Combine for a running back. He had a broad jump of 10.2, and he bench pressed 23 reps. Just showed off.
He did show off.
Like, absolutely showed off.
And it couldn't happen until this is how the story should end at LSU for him. Like,
yes,
obviously on the 2019 team, right?
Right.
And is the last, obviously, he and John Emery were the last two soldiers. Emery obviously having another year of eligibility. But Josh Williams, like, to cap it off this way where it's just another demonstration of his professionalism and how workmanlike he's taking this responsibility to be like a guy that every time he played, people were like, fine. And then when you really dig into it, you're like, no, he probably should have gotten more run at LSU, but did exactly what he was asked to do, whether it be run down on special teams, block, tackle, play running back. And then you saw him kind of catch fire at the end of the year where he was like not getting enough touches, it felt like. And so he obviously just has been somebody that will probably look back, especially this year, and go, like, feels like something's missing at some point. And you go, damn, you're going to miss Josh Williams.
Yeah. Mason Taylor's numbers.
You're going to miss him too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, spoiled rotten with those two guys. Both guys that we tabbed 3 years ago as professional football players. Like, regardless of what they did in college, they are professional football players. Mason Taylor runs a 4.65 40, bench presses 28 reps. The short shuttle, 4.52. The three cone was 7 seconds. He came in at 6'5", 246. Hand size of 9.75, wingspan 79 inches. Mason looked a little like, I guess, leaner yesterday when I saw him, but then he went out and he bench pressed to 28 reps, and I was like,
he's fine.
Yeah, he's just fine. Some other numbers: Major Burns runs a 4.5 40.
He was fired up for his 4.5 40 also.
He did. He was a 37.5-inch vertical, short shuttle 4.44. He benched 12 reps. Garrett Dellinger ran a 5.1 40, a 32-inch vertical, and he bench pressed 30 reps. Kyron Lacey runs a 4.5 vertical, 33.5. And at one point they said 36, but I guess 33.5 was the final number. Will Campbell's arm length, 33 inches. All the talk of the town. Will Campbell's arm length, it's 32 5/8 at the combine. That's the only thing he did yesterday was get measured. 6'5", 317, 9.5-inch hands, 33-inch arms, and a 77.25-inch wingspan.
Oh.
What? What was that?
Wingspan. And here is Will Campbell talking about his, I guess, experience with, I guess, the draft process where, I mean, he's a no bullshit kind of guy, and he feels like this is kind of it's been some bullshit.
You as a prospect? For 2 years, nobody had any measurements on me, and nobody said anything about my play. So now all of a sudden, an arm length decides if I'm a good player or not. I think it's BS. But, any decision makers in the NFL, they don't really care. It's all, people who don't coach, and they don't coach for a reason.
Any questions?
Dude, you got to get back to just the little smirk at the end when he's just basking in the silence of what he just said. Like, right.
Oh.
It's all right. You're a coach for a reason.
This right here. Yeah. That's like a mic drop. Like he knows. He just let him know. I mean, because he's right.
I mean, it's all Twitter.
I mean, nobody.
Draft nicks.
Nobody cares about the arm length. He's got 3 years of film working against Jared Verse, Will Anderson, Dallas Turner. Go down the list of professional football players that he has dominated against. I mean, Jared Verse gave him his welcome to college moment with his freshman year, 100%. But after that, I mean, it was 3 clean years
Can
of
he
football.
play?
Yeah. I don't think the 33-inch arms tell you if Will Campbell's a professional football player
At
or
no
not.
point during his 3-year tenure as a starting left tackle for LSU did I look around and go, don't you think his arms are a little short?
Yeah, I mean, is he struggling with the short arm deal? Like, no. You don't hear about arm length or hand size until
The combine. And then the measurements that are different at whether it be the Reese's Senior Bowl where they seem more accurate than they are at the combine, or the combine, then you go, it was, I believe Baker Mayfield did this because he wasn't 6 feet tall.
Right.
And he's like, I need to be 6 feet. So we went and did yoga for 2 months before his pro day, and you measured 6 feet. And it's like, yeah, you could, if that's what they want to see, I could stretch and make myself taller for a day.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, now I'm draftable.
Yeah,
now I'm
all
the
of a
first
sudden,
overall pick.
If my hand is 9 3/4,
Can't play.
Can't play. But once it gets to 10, once I stretch it out a little bit, 10-inch hands, I can play. I can throw this thing. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Because didn't Burrow have little hands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was real excited.
Yeah,
about that.
I mean, he's definitely been held back.
Yeah,
by his small hands,
He tweeted about it after it after there was conjecture on Twitter
Right.
after it comes out. He goes, "I guess I'll retire."
Yeah,
can't play quarterback.
He just went 15-0 and won the national championship, dicing up every defense known to man. But now we're gonna draft him one. He's got small hands.
He did throw that interception against Northwestern State. Seemed like the ball slipped out.
Yeah, I don't think he had a full grip around the ball because his hands are small.
And
whatever.
the ball looked a little bigger, a little rounder.
It's unbelievable. Brian Burgess says Roman Harper said yesterday that Will Campbell would be better at guard than tackle. What do you guys think? I don't care. Me,
I'm taking him in the top 5.
Will Campbell is a football player.
Yeah,
he's
put him
an
at running
offensive
back.
lineman. I'll put him anywhere. He's going to be successful, whether it's tackle, whether it's guard, whether it's center, wherever you want to put him. He's going to maul whoever's in front of him, and he's going to take care of business. So, I mean, whether a team wants to put him at guard or tackle, I think that really depends on what the team needs rather than what he's better at. Because I think what he's best at is dominating whoever he's lined up across from. And I think that he is one that now with this measurement, if that is going to appease whoever, he's going to be a top 10 draft pick regardless. And I'll find it very hard. I think, what was my pick? The Patriots taking Will Campbell? Because I find it hard for Mike Vrabel to not fall in love with that guy you just saw do that press conference.
And I do hope he goes to a Vrabel-led team, whether it be I would love to see him fall to 9. I wish he wouldn't have measured. But
right.
If you don't think that Vrabel's going to look at him and go, get you a couple touchdown passes.
Like
you're an athlete. Because Will Campbell has made he approached offensive line as if he's a skill player.
Right.
And at left tackle, you essentially are a skill player. And he has the athleticism. I mean, his brother plays tight end. He goes, don't get used to catching all them touchdowns. Yeah. It's like you're going to grow up and you're going to be an offensive lineman like me. But Campbell, the way that Vrabel had, he caught touchdowns with Belichick and he would check in, and I could see him using Will Campbell in that same way, and I think Will Campbell would be all for it.
Yes.
Speaking of touchdowns, did you see Garrett Nussmeier sling the pill?
He put on a show.
That feels like it should have been illegal.
What, to let him throw like that?
With all he gets 2 pro days.
Yep. Jaden did. Jaden threw to Kayshawn the pro day before, And then obviously if you put on a show with Malik and Brian. But yeah, Nuss got out there throwing the ball around.
Bauer Sharp was running around out there.
Bauer
He's
Sharp
not getting
running
drafted
routes.
this year
Well, I
either.
think Aaron Anderson was out there. Chris Hilton caught some balls. Just letting everybody get in on the action. And hey, why not? Show off a little bit. Nussmeier's pro day is going to be impressive, I have a feeling. Because that arm.
That'll be standing room only.
I mean, next year you're going to have Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks, Garrett Nussmeier, and Nussmeier throwing that football, man. He's got that pro day arm. As much as he's got the Saturday night arm, he can sling that bad boy.
Well, and it's just an absolute showcase. The Saints tweeted this out.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, with his Papa Bear is on the staff for the Saints, but for Nuss to be able to get out here and sling it around and show, there's nothing he does better than
this
throwing it against air.
Right.
What's his one bugaboo that people think he throws at the wrong team? Well, they're not out there, so everybody's open.
And I mean, he put on a clinic. Just the it looks so easy coming out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a sweet throwing motion.
That's a far side, opposite hash, and it's just easy for him.
Let him work. Just flicking it.
Go
bang.
Get it. Yeah, Connor Lacey also surprised.
Looked good.
There were some, rumors if he would be there or not.
Right.
Because they asked Brad Kelly about it. He's like, we have not made any decisions on that. It's a legal thing. And then he just kind of shows up and is able to partake in LSU's pro day. So it feels like whatever happened, he's probably going to be exonerated of the charges, or else I don't know if LSU would have had him there if he's a
right. Because that was to me
convicted felon.
When we were talking about it yesterday, if he was going to be there or not. I was like, well, what is LSU going to gain if that's the case and he's still in the middle of all this and it's moving in the direction that it was originally? Why would LSU have him there? If LSU's having him at pro day, you would assume that he's probably in a good spot legality wise, but we have no inside sources or knowledge, so we don't know what the deal is there. But if he was there, that at least shows that something is moving in a good direction for Kyron. And I thought his numbers were good yesterday. I mean, as a 6'2", 213, bigger-bodied wide receiver, a 4.5 I don't think is a bad time. I think it's probably right around what you would have said he would run. Mm-hmm. And probably on the I think most people would have said 4.5, 4.6. So it's on the faster end of what was expected. I thought his routes looked crisp in the ones he ran. His vertical jump 36 I think was decent. And I think he tested well. And obviously he's not going to be, I don't think he'll be a round 1 or 2 or probably even 3 guy. But
he'll get drafted.
He's going to get drafted. And
he has all of the NFL SU and the wide receiver U.
Yes.
He has that behind him that's going to help him because, like it or not, NFL teams are going to go play wide receiver at LSU. I'll take a chance.
I mean, Kayshawn Boutte was drafted, tested terribly.
Had gambled.
And got in trouble. And last year had a breakout season.
He got drafted.
Well, he got drafted, and then last season he breaks out.
It was the 7th round. And obviously, if you go back to his, freshman, sophomore year,
right.
Oh, he's going to be a first-round pick.
Of course.
And he kind of, I guess, didn't take his career as seriously as probably many hoped because, he tested terribly, had multiple illegal gambling accounts, and was gambling on football, and it's the reason why we can't do prop bets on college anymore in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And still, the Patriots I'll take a flyer.
Yeah, and they take it. He makes the 58.
He makes the team.
And then last year
he's their leading receiver.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I think Connor Lacey.
Why not swing for a
another LSU
wide receiver?
Just another. This is a hope to see more. This is from Wilson Alexander. He goes, hope to see more of this in the coming year.
Please.
Deep ball to Chris Hilton.
Let it ride. Go get it.
Can't overthrow that man.
It's impossible.
Good Lord. He's moving great.
His pro day is going to be, when you're talking about testing off the charts, Chris Hilton is one that is going to test off the charts. He's going to have a 44-inch vertical. He's going to run a 4.3, and he's going to show off in the receiving.
It's going to be 4.31.
4.3 flat. Mm-hmm. Impressive type stuff. So
I'd love to see Nuss run the 40. If he pops at 4.5, I'm going to be so mad at him.
Yeah, like
where was that?
How about you tuck and run, Nuss?
I do want to see him do it.
But
Well, clock me at 22 miles an hour.
a good day at LSU Pro Day yesterday, I thought, and very excited for Josh Williams to be the talk of the town like he is after that, because he deserves it, man. Everything he gave to this university and this football program over the last however many years it's been, he deserved to show off the way he did, and the hard work that he's put in definitely was shown. So a big day for LSU football. Josh Williams, the star of the show yesterday. LSU spring practice continues on today. Media availability as Christian is headed out there to check it out, to see what's going on the Ponderosa. He was also out there on, what day was that, Tuesday? Broke down a little bit yesterday. If y'all didn't see the clip of Ahmad Bro going 2v1 on the offensive line, defensive line stuff, as you all know, that's my favorite part of LSU football practice, is sitting and watching them work in the trenches, the offensive line versus the defensive line. There's a really cool clip of Ahmad Bro going against a double team and splitting it while losing the helmet, and Kyle Williams getting fired up. It was really good stuff from practice on Tuesday. They'll be back out on the field today practicing, getting ready for the August 30th game number 1. The spring game is the next big event. That'll be in 2 weeks on April 12th, I believe. Not really a spring game. It's a spring practice like we've said. But practice rolls on after an impressive pro day yesterday. And LSU baseball, obviously, tonight against Mississippi State gets the series rolling. Here's the clip from Mr. John Eads, who was hanging out with us yesterday. Just, dog. That was Ahmad Bro. In the fog. Let me see. I'm trying to remember who he's matched up against in this clip. What number these offensive linemen. So 78, and is that 73? 75 is Weston Davis, not Weston Banks. It's unbelievable what he has done to my brain as Weston Banks sits back here every time, just waiting to be said. Weston Davis, I think 78 is Cohen Eccles, I believe. Let me see, I do have a roster right here. 78 is one Cohen Eccles and 75 Weston Davis. So those are two guys that are redshirt freshmen against a true sophomore in Ahmad Bro. Making it happen. Dog in the fog. But Sadir Mitchell also showed off in some clips from practice the other day. He looked very good. And when it comes to just eating up a block, there was one clip where he just kind of stonewalled two guys. There was no way they were getting to the second level. And he did a very good job. Looks good. He's a name that's been impressing throughout spring camp. Every single day I feel like I hear something about Sadir Mitchell looking the part, getting the job done, and stepping up in the interior defensive line room. So Sabrion asks, how's Dom McKinley doing? Haven't heard too much on Dom. I think he's had some, just kind of expected practices. I did see one clip of him that Christian got in those offensive line, defensive line drills, and it wasn't the best clip for Dom. But he's definitely going to be an important piece of what LSU does on the defensive front this season. You want to see that defensive development continue for him to step up with guys like Ahmad Bro and Sadir Mitchell, who are constantly being talked about as stars of camp throughout the spring window. So I'll be back out there today. So make sure you're on the lookout for the spring practice clips and the little YouTube compilation video, the highlights, as Christian will get that over to me, who has done a good job. As difficult, we had some trouble on Tuesday getting all the clips right. He had some trouble yesterday with the Pro Day clips as well. Has done a good job, and we do appreciate and applaud Christian while he's not here for his hard work in spring practice.
Yeah, never tell him that to his face.
Yeah, when he's here, he will not hear the praises that he's receiving currently. But also, Brian Kelly was at Pro Day yesterday, and he was petting that dog once again. Seems to be a big rowback guy. Every time I've seen a picture of him or seen him out and about the last couple of weeks, I feel like he's always got the dog on. Always rocking rowback. So don't forget, you can match Coach BK or myself.
The $1 million match.
If you use the 20% match with code Tigers, TIGERS, with Rhoback.com. My buddies were telling me the other day I need to stop spelling Tigers and start spelling Rhoback. Rhoback is RHOBACK.com. Code TIGERS for 20% off.
TIGERS. Tigers.
Get out there. Get on the website. Order yourself up some shirts, some quarter zips, some hoodies, the whole deal to get ready as baseball continues on and women's basketball runs their March Madness. Or just go play golf in it. Like this, I mean, I played golf in this shirt last week. Hit the best round of my life. You know, Lloyd knows.
You're not playing golf the right way.
I'm playing golf the exact right way.
That's good.
To deal with my competitiveness, to make sure I don't break any clubs. If you're within an inch of either side of the pin,
that's not how you described it
book
to me. It's if you even hit it past the hole. That not only is it like if you're putting for par, miss it, but it almost goes in, you give yourself par. Some people.
This is the thing. I'm never putting for par. So, like, this is usually like triple bogey, and I'm already, like, I'm just ready to get out of the person behind me's way, and I'm like, okay, book it.
Write that
down. If I was a legitimate golfer and I actually was having a chance to birdie, par, bogey, if it wasn't quadruple bogey every time, it would be a different deal.
But I was telling my father, who said, taught me the game of golf.
Right.
And I was telling, he's like, oh, people, like, you know, I was telling him your story about how you approach the game of golf. He's like, oh, I mean, I've seen people almost make a putt, then, like, it's a gimme, right? Yep. Like, is that good? Like, yeah, sure, pick it up. And I was like, no, he counts the one he misses as he made it. And he's like, you can't do that.
Book it. I got to get out of this guy.
This is what's wrong with the golf culture, because people go play in scrambles and they shoot 29. It's like you eagled every hole.
Right.
Like, that's impossible.
For me, the person behind me's already been waiting 20 minutes.
They're probably having a good laugh.
Get out of the tee box. So, I mean, I got to make it easy on them somehow.
Yeah, I'll pick it up, move it on.
Keep on going. Noah plays without a scorecard.
That's right.
Amen. And who needs the scorecard? We're just out there to enjoy the weather.
Show off the Rhoback.
Promo
code.
And hit some balls into the water every time.
Donate them back to the course.
Lose balls. That's all you got to do. Like, buy a box of whatever golf ball you want, and don't expect to bring any of them home. That's how I play.
That's what Pop says. He goes, they're like Lay's potato chips.
Yep.
They'll make more.
You'll never truly run out.
Never worry about it. I did when I played with Mikey. The golf balls in the pro shop are the absolute racket because it's marked up 2,500%. And I was like, I'm gonna get a sleeve. He's like, only 3. I was like, if I lose all 3 of these, I'll pack it up. And put it at 950. I was like, fuck. God.
Did you lose any of them?
Lost 1 on 1 tee. First ball. And I was like, oh. And then after that was clean sheet.
There you go. That's never happened to me.
You only have so many. I mean, there's a story about Tiger Woods whenever he shot I don't know what he fired. He won like Pebble by, I think, the most it's ever been won. Whenever he won I think it was the U.S. Open there. Maybe it's supposed to be like golf's hardest test.
Right.
And he wins by like 15. But Stevie Williams never wanted to make it about himself, except always making it about himself. His former caddy, Tiger, was putting the night before in the hotel room. They're rolling him on the carpet, whatever. Stevie goes, picks up his bag in the morning, doesn't pick up the 3 golf balls he was putting with. So Tiger only has 3 in the bag. And then he's on I believe it was 16 or whatever. He makes birdie, throws it into the crowd. And Stevie's like, oh, fuck, we only have 2 golf balls left. Hits one in the water. Coming up, I think it was on 17 or 18, hits it in the water. And he's like, Tiger, maybe hit an iron down the middle. He goes, what the fuck are you talking about, Stevie? He's like, I can't tell him that we only have 1 golf ball left. And if we lose this golf ball, he won't be able to finish the golf tournament. He won't be able to win a major. And he goes, and I won't have a job ever. And Tiger hits driver, pipes it down the middle. He goes, that's the best drive I've ever seen him hit because of where I was mentally. Like,
please.
I have no control over this situation. And so I always shake your back.
Yeah. Opening day in the MLB today. LSU has 8 Tigers on opening day rosters. Paul Skeens, Dylan Cruz, Alex Bregman, Kevin Gaussman, Aaron Nola, Josh Smith, Jake Fraley, and, of course, the OG, DJ LeMahieu, who's, it's what, his 100th opening day?
Feels like it.
I mean, like, just continues to go through
He was on the 09 team.
season after season after season.
Don't tell Mikey.
No, I won't.
Paul Skeens is about to give away a ton of money, too.
Oh, yeah?
As he announced, I am proud to continue my support of the Gary Sinise Foundation. Shout out CSI, all of them. And its mission to honor and serve our nation's defenders, veterans, first responders, and their families. I will again donate $100 for every strikeout I record during the 2025 season. And invite you to join me on my mission to raise $100,000 for this. Like, you don't need anybody's help.
No.
You'll be able to raise $100,000 if you're going to give away $100 every time you strike somebody out.
Yep.
Because you can go ahead and put what? How many starts do you think you get? 20? 20 starts?
Yeah.
Probably
20
more than
starts.
that, 30. So if you strike out 10 a game, 30 times 100, I'll let y'all do the math. So
Paul Skeens getting it started today. I think he pitches at 3. Cameron Scholes. Skeens pitches at 3, and I don't want to spend $150 to watch the MLB all year. That is the worst part about professional baseball.
Absolutely.
Is the absolute hoops you have to jump through and money you have to spend to be able to sit back and watch whoever it is. And so I don't know where you can watch Skeens pitch today on TV, but I'm hoping you can find your way around having to spend that $150.
Yeah,
because
the man, the myth, the legend, who ran crack streams and mesh streams, has effectively retired.
He's
so
done.
that's where I would tell you to go watch it. But the streaming game is now an absolute racket, as we are all in a free-for-all for trying to find an illegal way to watch baseball.
Because it's the only way to watch it.
Yeah, there's the blackouts everywhere. You don't know where to find it. You don't know what channel it's on. Just give me the game.
Yep. Nope. You got to pay $150 for it.
And I would love to watch Skeens pitch.
I would. Who wouldn't?
Paul
Messina
Skeens
says,
over under 6.5 strikeouts versus Miami. I think he will hit that over.
Take the over there.
Miami's not very good at baseball. And Paul Skeens is.
Get Cajunomics on it, Carl Dunn says.
He might.
He might hop back into the... Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I look at YouTube at 3 p.m. today.
Something's going to be up there, I would
it's
hope.
there.
But you always get fooled by the people that are putting the game cast on, and then it's like this one guy
sitting in the corner.
Yeah, like
maybe we should start doing that.
I don't know, I feel bad.
I guess that's kind of a watch party.
Kind of, but a watch party of one. Like, I feel bad for those. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, but they do get an inordinate amount of people watching for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, game's live. They have it all like
boom,
the way
the number does
they clickbait
this.
you.
Yeah,
and
right
it's
at the
like,
start.
Oh,
and then they all...
You're not Paul Skeens.
No.
But
you're some guy in the corner of the screen.
Yeah. Playing the show and watching baseball and telling you what his thoughts on Deep State. I just wanted to watch Paul Skeens pitch.
I think that's what Christian was having a conversation with the guy at...
They were locked into something.
He said that it was a photographer from some... I think like an AP photographer.
A distributor film?
And so he got him talking on politics. And Christian just had this guy in his ear. And he said he kept like gassing him up. He kept going like, what about the Gulf of America? And the guy was like, oh, you got to get...
The conversations you hear at
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. We chopped it up with Eads a good bit yesterday.
We did.
As we're going to try to get some content with one John Eads coming up soon to talk about LSU football, baseball, the whole deal. As he's excited to come be a part of helping us out as we continue on. No interviews today, huh?
No,
nothing today. So we're gonna have baseball conversation. Get you ready for tonight, as LSU baseball takes on Mississippi State, third SEC series of the season. Shaken back from a lost series last weekend, you dominate 17-4 and 7 on Tuesday. Now you've got Mississippi State, who is 1-5 in the SEC, at home tonight or this weekend. Then tomorrow night, don't forget, we're going to watch party both women's basketball at 6:30 and also LSU baseball starts at 6:30.
Yes.
So you'll be double screening it. Try and see if Lloyd can actually focus on both for the entirety of the game.
Because we're doing that Saturday or Friday?
Friday.
Mississippi State starter on Friday is a dog.
I saw he's 4-0, is he not?
Yes. My buddy sent me his the day he pitched. Hold on, let me pull it up. Because the Wheels content, he just found out about Wheels that you can watch
Wheels,
condensed games,
all-timer.
and he's just been taking Adderall and watching all of the baseball games and
course.
writing his own scouting reports for
That is awesome.
LSU baseball. And he did call it on. It was Friday night. Texas's ace that threw. He goes around 65 pitches, 70. He starts flying open. He's going to give up a home run, and literally on like the 65th pitch, Luis Hernandez went deep. And he's like, "I told you."
So we've got a scout now.
Yes.
That's awesome.
His dad played professional baseball, like Major League Baseball for 10
okay.
years. So
Yeah.
it's in his blood. He didn't have a choice. But he's on the beat.
Was it Pico Cone?
Yes.
The lefty senior for Mississippi State. Here's the pitching matchup. Cade Anderson tonight, who is 5-0, 2.65 ERA, 34 innings pitched, 8 walks, 56 strikeouts. Mississippi junior right-hander Evan Cieri, 0 wins, 0 losses, 2.31 ERA, 11 2/3 innings pitched, 3 walks, 15 strikeouts. And then on Friday night, Anthony Ianson, junior righty for LSU, 3-0, 4.5 ERA, 32 innings pitched, 8 walks, 46 strikeouts. Senior lefty for Mississippi State, Pico Cone, 4-0, 2.52 ERA, 35 2/3, 7 walks, 53 strikeouts.
Numbers are gross.
Those are pretty solid numbers. They're very much comparable to Cade Anderson for LSU if you just look at them side by side.
But this is on for Friday night, and it does feel like I don't know if they're trying to just keep him on schedule as their Friday night guy, or if they're looking at Cade Anderson and going, nobody's really had a good deal of success against Cade, so you move your Friday guy to essentially Saturday and throw him up against Ianson just because of how well that Cade Anderson's pitched and LSU's offense, which we talked to Jay last night. In a great spot, obviously, like disappointed in the Texas series and how it turns out. And I asked him about, because it's been a lot of questions about what they did Friday in their first game, going Cade Anderson, Zach Cowan, and only using 2 pitchers. He's like, look, we were in a weird spot pitch count wise because, look, when I got him ready in the bullpen, think about it, you have to look at the totality of the situation, which, God forbid. He was like, I had him hot in the bullpen because we were only up 2. We're up 2 runs. You guys, it's a perfect spot to bring him in if I feel like I need to get out of a spot or what have you. And so he continues to warm up. LSU hangs 4 more runs and goes up 6. He goes, well, he's already hot. Like, I'm not going to sit him back down because he's essentially ready to come into the baseball game.
Right.
And then he goes, and I was going to throw him for maybe an inning and see where he was. And then obviously I would like to have him for the weekend too. And he goes, well, he gets to like 25 pitches and he goes, let's just close this thing out. Because it's at a weird pitch count of, do I bring him back? Do I keep him in? It's just one of those weird deals where it worked out the way that it did. But make no mistake, if you're going to let me throw 2 pitchers and get a win on Friday, I'll take that deal.
Every single time.
It
was the 17th straight win for LSU.
Right, yeah. And he's like, if you want, people can always, coach from the living room because it was a 17th straight win in a row. Like, we doing a pretty good deal over here. We're scoring 10 runs a game. And that's what we talked about in the Sunday game against Texas. Like, it's the first time our offense didn't show up all year.
Yeah.
And he's like, at some point it was going to happen. I'm not worried about it. Then you go and hang 17.
Right. And it just so happened to happen the day after the bullpen didn't show up and the offense did.
Right. It's just a series of unfortunate events.
Definitely.
For Coach Lemony Snicket's.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, it was definitely unfortunate, but it'll be nice to see LSU back on the field tonight and this weekend as they match up with Mississippi State, who's looking to get back in them. They are 16-9 on the season, 1-5 in the conference. This is their guy, Pico.
This is Pico.
Pico de Gallo. Let's see it.
Got some interesting action with the leg.
Yeah.
But he can absolutely move the baseball, so he will be an issue. Lefty
he brings that back leg.
Lefty that comes in on you, throws 90-93, and it just has wicked shit.
Yeah, he's solid.
And so that will be the matchup for Friday. That I think will have be a nice little pitching duel, especially with all of the conversation around Anthony Ianson, which I still don't understand. But pitch count maybe gets a little bit elevated, but if he can get you through the lineup twice and get you 5-6 innings, he's proven to be I'd like to see him pitch longer.
Right.
Because the more he pitches, the better he gets.
Look back in the Nebraska game.
Yeah, less people forget, how many did he strike out? 15, 17, 15, 17?
But, I mean, the Nebraska game, I remember.
15 strikeouts and gave up 5 in the first inning.
5th and 6th inning was just nails.
6 straight strikeouts. Let pitchers pitch. He's a professional pitcher.
Yep.
And if you worry, it does remind me a lot of how Ethan Poche used to start, where it's get him out the first inning, because he would put up crazy pitch count numbers, and it would be a struggle, the inevitable two. He'd give you a lot of runners in scoring position. People always seem to be on base in the first, and he got out. He'd throw 7 innings of 2-hit baseball after that. And I think Ianson's kind of in that same boat of let him get comfortable in the game.
Yeah, let him
and
settle
continue to work through the lineup, and I think he'll be fine.
And then on Sunday, it'll be Chase Shores, 4-1, 4.88 ERA, 27 2/3 inning pitch, 12 walks, 30 strikeouts against senior right-hander Carson Ligon, who's 2-3, 4.76 ERA, 22 2/3 innings pitched, 9 walks, 32 strikeouts. Here is a little bit on one Mr. Pico Khan. Mississippi State is very talented. Pico Khan is one of the best pitchers in the league, no question about it. They have more arm strength out of the bullpen than we've seen out of anybody to this point, so we will be challenged in that regard. I think the top of their lineup is very good, and there are some explosive players in that lineup. This is just like the rest of them in the SEC. Mississippi State is a super regional Omaha quality team, and it's going to be a great series. So, just because they're 1-5 in the conference doesn't mean it's going to be a easy weekend for LSU.
Park, SEC baseball is SEC baseball, but LSU is also number 1 in the SEC. Team batting average at .338, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 in the league in hits with 290, that's pretty good. Number 1 in doubles, 68. Number 2 in on-base percentage at .462, and number 3 at runs scored with 262. Jay said that before the year, when he looked at his lineup and his roster, he said, I want to lead the league in doubles and walks. And so far, they're on pace to do so as they lead the league in lead the league in doubles and second in on-base percentage.
Yep.
So I do believe that the offense is trending in a very good direction. Like I said, that. What you saw Sunday is not your typical LSU baseball performance from the offensive output, and obviously it's somewhere in the middle from what you saw on Tuesday, where you scored 9 runs in the first inning and you kind of pack it up after that. When they're like, oh wait, no, we'll put 8 more on you.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good offense, and then when you have Cade Anderson going, it feels like you're getting into that conversation of Friday night ace, where people have been I'll continue to say it, kind of taking Cade Anderson taking him for granted,
right? Because
he's been so good and been your Friday night guy. After you saw flashes last year, but we talked to him on Monday, and he's added a slider and a changeup into his repertoire, because it used to be fastball, curveball. That's all you would see. He had that big banger of a curveball that he's not really even throwing that much this year. And so you're seeing him with quote unquote pitchability. And he's I had to add a second pitch, ended up adding a third pitch. He has the changeup's on. I feel really good going into the into the baseball game. But even without it, he had a little bullet slider that he's able to spin in for a strike. He obviously can still kind of light up the radar gun from 93, 95 if he really wants to get going, and then he still has his curveball in the back pocket. Cade's been unbelievable, and he's got that kind of mentality that you like to see from a Friday night guy, where it just means a little bit more.
Definitely.
Let's get the boys going 1-0.
Yep, the Bulldogs are 60-9 this season, 1-5 in the SEC. They opened the conference play March 14th through 16th, dropping 3 games to Texas in Starkville. They lost 2 of 3 at Oklahoma in Norman last weekend. Mississippi State's number 5 in the conference in batting average. They've collected 55 doubles, 4 triples, 38 homers, 32 steals, and 36 attempts. And the pitching staff is number 4 in the league with a 3.39 ERA, and it's recorded 291 strikeouts in 207 innings. So definitely a solid opponent for LSU. It's not going to be a walk in the park against the Bulldogs this weekend, as we will have a watch party Friday night to watch Pico Cone and Anthony Ianson, along with the women's basketball team, as they have their Sweet 16 matchup.
What a parlay to put together.
How about it? It's going to be a good night. Can already feel it. So don't forget, Friday night at 6:30, we'll be live here on the Jordy Culotta Show channel, watch partying some women's basketball and baseball. We're going to try to get some different, I guess we should have we're going to do the suites for the Sweet 16. We got to figure something out for the Mississippi State series as well. Are you going to be in the box tonight, Lloyd?
Yes.
Lloyd in Alec box tonight to check out
Be
Christian
inside
on his
you.
date. To watch Christian on his date, his little baseball date tonight, as well as to watch the Tigers. So we're coming up right here on hour number 2, so we're going to take a quick break, get these commercials rolling, and we'll be right back with more Jordy Culotta Show after this.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Well, the Oscar Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Ochsner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Ochsner's to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
48 Insurance Agency, established in 1946, helping you with your home, auto, commercial, life and health insurance needs. Around in Baton Rouge at 4275 Government Street and online at 48agency.com. Whatever insurance you're in the market for, home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health, get in touch with 48 Insurance Agency, 48agency.com, or give them a call at 225-383-0682. 48 Agency.
Get Gordon and get it done. Yeah, everybody know Gordon in a 225. And he done link with Big Four. He got buku ties, Ferrari sliding, flying in a new coupe ride. And every time I ride by, I see a brand new sign. I'm a Gordon, I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon and get it done.
Welcome to Trifecta.
Trifecta Sports Therapy in Baton Rouge. Recover, repair, restore. At Trifecta, they believe in total body wellness. Trifecta gets the body back to its full potential. Whether you're a youth or pro athlete, a pre or postnatal mom, or if you lead an active lifestyle or a senior citizen, Trifecta has the class, the sports massage, the sports therapist, the stretch therapist, or the equipment like infrared sauna, cold plunges, and golf simulators to find your best. Find Trifecta online at trifectasportstherapy.com or check out the beautiful facility today, 8221 Goodwood. Trifecta Sports Therapy.
Hey, Tiger fans, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit us, Tom and Wright Granning, at Go Mart on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip.
located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on your left.
Also, stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Hey, Chino. Cut my headphones up, bro. Yeah, right there.
All right, welcome back here. Hour number 2 getting started on this Wednesday.
Thursday, brother.
Let's go.
One away from the weekend,
Thursday,
but
almost there.
feels like the weekend starts today when you get to go to the box. It's going to be so confused for Friday.
So confused.
Set my alarm. Feels like it'll be Friday today.
Feels like today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday.
Yeah, don't do it. Let's stop talking about it.
Don't get it in Lloyd said. He won't be here in the morning.
That's right. Because that does happen to me whenever I do. If we pre-record Mikey's show on Thursday, I feel like it's Friday because my schedule is always Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when I do Mikey's show, so it feels like a Friday, and I have to convince myself it's not. It's only Thursday.
Today's Thursday, Lloyd.
We have no mic'd up today. We have it tomorrow. So
there you go. So you'll be good.
But yeah, then we get to
schedule-wise
recap LSU Mississippi State.
Yep.
And preview
and
LSU Mississippi State. So.
Recap/preview.
That's right.
Speaking of LSU Mississippi State preview, rally time with our friend, our guy,
Uncle Justin
Babin, will be posted tomorrow. They recorded it yesterday, previewing the series this weekend, so that'll go out prior to the game tomorrow. But here in hour number 2, we're going to get started talking about one Harold Perkins. Harold was at Pro Day yesterday. I don't know if you saw I don't know if you can find this on Twitter, the Mason Taylor bench press video from LSU football. For a good minute of that video, you're watching Harold Perkins watch Mason bench press. Interesting move by the media team at LSU, but it was nice to see Perk out there rooting on his teammates, dapping them all up, cheering them on, as he has been doing. I mean, as he's been recovering from this injury, he's been a part of everything involved with LSU football. Spring workouts into spring camp. He's been a part of it all there with his teammates, which is a good sign. So here's Mason repping out 28 reps on the bench, which is impressive in its own right. But you see Perk and some other teammates there rooting him on. Mason and Perk came in together in that recruiting class, the inaugural 2022 recruiting class of Brian Kelly's tenure. And here's Perk at Pro Day with the team yesterday. Is that a little baseball shirt?
I don't know. He's got swag for days,
Yeah,
dude. Whatever he wears is always usually pretty cool. But yeah, there's Perk. And Blake Baker had some interesting comments.
Yes.
For our friends over at Off the Bench.
Yep.
Where they did an exclusive interview. He'll also be available to the media today after practice, so we'll get some more Blake Baker, and I'm sure he'll be asked about this again.
Yeah.
But he did talk about the linebacking depth that LSU now has, and when prompted about Harold Perkins, he did say, and this is no shade about Perk, he was just like, I do think, in a weird way, the best thing that could have happened to him was that injury, because now he got to take a beat, be able to watch football from a perspective he's never had before. He's never sat the bench. He's always played.
Right.
And for him to be able to get those mental reps and be able to see the game in a different light is only going to prove to be valuable for Harold Perkins. And there's another comment that he made where, look, he's like, it'd be easy for Perk during this rehab we have an hour meeting with the linebackers that's mandatory for him to just go to that and then go home. He's not doing that. He's on the Jaden Daniels plan of virtual reality where, it's not gone, it's still there. And Harold Perkins has been getting star reps or linebacking reps, watching the game through the VR headset and being able to get mental reps as he continues to rehab and get back on the field. But all of that to say is like very, I guess, optimistic about Harold Perkins. And another thing that he said was, it feels like Harold, like his name and what he did, like it's almost like bad for him,
right?
Because like the expectations on Harold Perkins after what he did his freshman year, he's like, that's probably the worst thing that's the worst thing about it is like people expect Harold to go out there and like, be Superman. Well, he's like, we have the amount of depth that we have at linebacker and who's coming back. Like you obviously West Weeks, Whit Weeks, Zach Weeks, and you have
Devon Keys, Tylen Singleton,
and he mentioned Singleton too, which I think means he's probably going to get some run.
Right.
But like what you have at linebacker takes a lot of pressure off of Harold Perkins. Whether it be, you can even throw Pyburn in the mix,
right,
as somebody that, because with Perkins, like you're able to get pressure with multiple guys. Like Whit Weeks is going to bring pressure. You saw him kind of in like the Harold Perkins role throughout the year, and he had 120 tackles. Then you put Harold Perkins in the mix, like it takes so much pressure off him having to be a star, quote unquote, while playing star. Like I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I do agree with like the expectations put on him. It's every game it felt like, well, what's Harold Perkins doing?
Like, where's Perk? Why isn't he doing this, that? Like why is he not making every play?
Make a play
for the defense.
And when you look at the numbers his sophomore year, obviously he had more like snaps, but the numbers were nearly identical to what he did his freshman year. And people are like, oh, down year, sophomore slump.
Yeah, it's just because he didn't have 4 strip sack forced fumbles against Arkansas.
And he did get one. I think it was against Arkansas, but they just recovered it. It's at the end of the first half where he got a...
Yes, he rocked K.J. Jefferson. But here's Baker. I got a quote here. Part of the problem, in my opinion, has been the expectation that's been put on him. Obviously, with a player of that talent and that caliber, we still got to remember that he's 20 years old or whatever he is. Then he goes on to say, between Perkins and West Weeks and Devon Keys and Witt, some of these other guys, Ty Singleton is coming along, and then we get 3 more freshmen. I think they're all going to complement each other really well. So I don't think it's going to be, oh, there's Harold Perkins, he's the star on the defense. I think we have a lot of really, really good players in that room that feed off of each other and make each other better. The linebacking room is one that we've talked about a good bit because of all the pieces you have in that room, and it's your defensive coordinator's position group, really. And you've got Harold Perkins, who obviously is the talent we all know, Whit Weeks, the talent we all know. Then you have a veteran presence like West Weeks. You've got Devon Keys, who came along really well at the end of last year. Tylen Singleton's a name that Baker uses in this quote, who's a young guy, extremely fast. I don't know if you remember the clip of, was it the Xavier Thomas return?
Mm-hmm.
That Tylen Singleton's running stride for stride with him. And he's got all the tools in the world. He's coming along. And then you bring in guys like Charles Ross and Jaden Breaker and Zach Weeks into that group. You have a lot of really good pieces in that linebacking room. And they're getting the opportunity. These ancillary pieces outside of Witt and Perk are getting all the work right now in spring camp. They're getting all the on-field reps, all the time, all the, they're getting every single piece of work that they can get because your 2 star guys are out. And so it's going to be really good to see some of that development in that room for LSU this season. And it's going to be one that's going to have a lot of eyes on it, obviously. You're going to expect Witt to do the same thing he did last year. The expectations of Perk coming back are going to be Butkus Award winner. Like the expectations are going to be extremely high going into next season for these guys. And a lot of eyes are going to be on them. So it's going to be interesting to watch how that room develops. And I think you're going to learn a lot in fall camp by the way it looks, because that'll be when Witt and Perk are both back on the field. And you've got these guys that have got all this work and this development in the spring window. What's it going to look like when fall gets here? That's one thing that we'll obviously have a close eye on once we get to August and to fall camp for LSU football as they prepare for week 1. So it was good to hear that from Baker because, it makes sense. I talked about it with basketball. Like, there are times that you need a player to come out of the game and sit on the bench and watch the game unfold and see the pace of the game, see all these moving pieces, what it looks like, and then go back in the game, make a difference. Well, for Perk, it was getting the opportunity to be on the sideline, sit and watch and essentially be watching film while he's at the game. Like it was such a good mental opportunity for a player like him, who's all, like Lloyd said, always been on the football field. He's always seen the game from one angle, except when he's sitting in the meeting room watching film. This is the first time he got to sit and watch it from a different angle, and I think it's gonna work out for him really well. Like there's no way that this hurts him sitting and getting mental reps. There's no way it holds him back. It can only help in his vision and his understanding of the game of football.
And don't get it twisted that he doesn't realize the importance of this year. Like you see him at Pro Day, obviously he thought that was going to be his Pro Day.
Right.
Like now it's his legit money year where he has to prove to, whether it be the media, combine people, NFL executives, whatever, that his name and who he was and who he is at LSU, like not only can he bounce back from injury, but he has to be, like, I think that's why he's having this kind of, I guess, Renaissance man approach of like the mental side of LSU football, because like he understands that how important all of this is, like to be able to get better. And like Blake Baker said, he doesn't have what else is he going to do? He can't do anything, and he's relied so much on his athleticism throughout his life that like football came easy to him. Now if you combine that with the linebacking room that they have and like his physical assets, like I would be shocked if Perk didn't have an absolute breakout year, because this is kind of what his life's work is culminating into. Like you saw it with Josh Williams, and it kind of puts it in perspective how seriously
these guys take it.
Yeah, that like how much it means to them to be able to, whether it be the combine or a pro day, like this is me showing that this is my time to change my life.
Right.
And it comes down to, for Harold Perkins, one more year.
Yeah, no, I mean, he sat at Pro Day yesterday and watched the guys that he was in the recruiting class with, that he signed with, that he was a part of that. When we talked about the pillars of LSU football under Brian Kelly, we talked about that 2022 freshman class. Mason Taylor, Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Harold Perkins. Well, 3 of those 4 were at Pro Day yesterday. Or all 4 of them were at Pro Day.
All 4 were there.
3 of them participated in Pro Day. You don't think Perk knows that? Like that's not in the back of his head of, I signed with these guys out of high school. I played with these guys in year 1. But they're all at Pro Day right now, and I'm not. I promise you he's thinking about it. And that right there is motivation for somebody that's an elite athlete like Harold Perkins.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's probably in the same camp as Will Campbell of like, what are these question marks? Like,
right.
So like, oh, he's a tweener, he's too small, he can't do this, he can't play inside the box. Like, cut all the tape. Let me play football. And that's why I'm most excited to see him, because it is going to come at you very quickly with week 1. Like, there's no buffer.
Right.
LSU, Clemson, at Clemson. And you expect Perk to be, obviously you have a pseudo spring game, and then you have more practices, but it'll be here quicker than you think. And Perk's health will be obviously the top priority. But to have him back in the lineup and see him moving around in a new position, again, where it feels like he's kind of moved around and he doesn't, this is his opportunity to show, like, I can stick at one spot and be able to still impact the game in a way that it makes me a game changer.
Right.
And that's what he's looked, because there are, if he'd have gotten the opportunity, if he doesn't get hurt and he gets a pro day, like the stock's back up, he's going to test off the charts. And next year's pro day is going to be absurd when you have Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, Garrett Nussmeier, Xavion Thomas, Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks. Like, LSU, I say all that to say, like, that's what makes this year so important for LSU football, because you're losing a lot of star power, no matter how you recruit it. And, I mean, you could still go down the list of the transfers they brought in that would also have a pro day. You're going to have 10 to 12 guys there that are NFL players. And so your roster is stacked. And you've done all the things that, all of the offseason moves that you've made, all of the money that you've collected, you went out and spent it. You got burned by Bryce Underwood, and it almost, like, put your ass in gear in a way to be like, all right, if we're going to lose like that and we relied so heavily on recruiting and we're going to get burned at the end, like, let's not let that happen anymore.
Yeah.
Raised a ton of money. You saw Bauer Sharp running around out there yesterday, and he looks like a stud.
Yeah.
Like, that's another piece that you've added where Nussmeier obviously feels very comfortable throwing to him, because there's I think Eads put out like a 2-minute clip of just Bauer Sharp.
Right.
And like, you got to see the work that they're putting in and the pieces that they've added. Like I said, like, this is going to, it sets you up for a major, major year, and the expectations couldn't be higher for LSU considering what happened last year.
Yeah.
Like, where you saw the potential, you saw like flashes of like, damn, like Nussmeier was returning, coming back,
right,
and like it feels like he's going to be in the conversation for the first overall pick.
Heisman.
That's where the expectations are, and warranted. But that's also the same. He was a quarterback last year where you lost 3 straight. Everybody was calling for his head.
Right.
Like there's adjustments to be made, but it's not going to be for lack of talent.
No, not at all. This is the most talented roster LSU has had in this Brian Kelly era.
Absolutely.
Like without a doubt. And as much as, and to me, the team that I always look back at is the 2022 team, the first team that Kelly had, because he had those returners from the Coach O era, like a B.J. Ojulari, a Jacqueline Roy, a Jay Ward, all these guys don't go down the list. And then, a Mason Smith who ends up getting hurt. But like that talent, and then they added in the Jark Bernard Converse and the Mekhi Garner, and they hit on all these guys. The Greg Brooks, the Joe Fouché. This is the most talented and deepest roster that Brian Kelly has had. And that's why the expectations are where they're at.
They should be.
This is 100%. And this is where LSU belongs. These expectations are where LSU belongs. This is where they should be year in, year out. Last year was the anomaly. 8-4 is the anomaly. Like that.
Can't happen.
It cannot happen on a consistent basis. It really shouldn't ever happen. And this season, I heard what Jacques said, 10 wins. That gets you in the playoff. That's the baseline. That is the floor. 10 wins is the floor. You've got high expectations, and it's going to start, like Lloyd said, week 1. The bright lights, all the cameras, the TV, the whole deal on August 30th against Clemson, in Clemson. In whatever they call their stadium. Because the thing they normally call it, I'm not going to call it.
Yeah, it's not theirs to
That's
use.
not it. Dabo's gonna run down that hill.
Oh God!
And they're gonna try to make the same statement because their expectations are the exact same.
Yeah.
They're bringing back their quarterback that could have gone to the NFL draft. They went out and actually made portal additions this offseason. Like, it's eerily similar when you look at the storylines, kind of like last year against USC, where these storylines kind of match up with these two teams battling in week 1. Clemson's trying to make the same exact statement LSU is. LSU's just got to be better prepared to make it go happen. Because I think they're the more talented team. I think Garrett Nussmeier is a better quarterback than Cade Klubnik.
I think those are probably 1 and 2 in the conversation.
Definitely.
Everybody's going to sprinkle an Arch, but like it's two gods that do it for a year.
Right.
But obviously I think Arch is going to be like they're not going to miss a beat because of the way they handled that entire situation.
Getting him experience.
Yeah, getting him experience, dabbling him in there, playing in a national championship, getting knocked out, like totally concussed.
Right.
But he's got that. That's how you get Manning face.
Yeah.
It's just enough of those in totality. Eventually, it just starts to rest.
Yeah.
But I do think that Klubnik deserves to be in that conversation because he carried Clemson. Like they had to win the ACC. They win the ACC championship to get into a playoff. Like that wasn't. When you looked at Clemson halfway through the year, like that was going to get fired.
Right.
And then you look up and they win the ACC and win a playoff game.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, they made the college football playoff last year, got their quarterback back, went out in the portal and added some pieces. LSU is going, like it's not, LSU has to be prepared at the start. This is not another year. Like, yes, can LSU lose game 1 and come back and still make the playoff? Yeah. You can rattle off 11 straight or drop one more and be 10-2, yes. But it will be a PR nightmare if LSU loses game number 1 again and we're pounding on the table again. Can't happen. That can't become the deal that LSU's not prepared week 1. Because if I remember correctly, looking at the schedule, it's not like that. It's just going to be a walk in the park at the start. I feel like game 3 is against Florida. You play Clemson, you get La Tech, and then you got Florida at home. Florida's got a pretty good returning quarterback as well. Did you see that picture of him standing next to Anthony Richardson?
They look like carbon copies of each other.
DJ Lagway's bigger. Like he made Anthony look normal, human. I mean, the first 5 games of the season, LSU's got Florida and Ole Miss.
Yeah, the schedule, obviously, with the addition of adding Oklahoma, adding Texas, and now you're ramping up the SEC schedule to the third week of the year.
Right.
But you do have these games. You do obviously remember the LSU Ole Miss game, which is at home. Now you have to go to their place. But you get to start off away at Clemson, and then you get 3 straight home games. And so if you're able to win the Clemson game, it feels like that Florida game will be – obviously it's always keyed up. Like that's a game that like the energy is always going to be high. And Florida, not necessarily the walkover that you thought they were at the beginning of last year. Like they doubled down on Napier, and you kind of saw an uptick in performance, and then the addition of like DJ Lagway just being the starter, and him kind of learning learning the ropes last year. And you see he was a guy that LSU was in on.
Yeah,
like that
baseball
came down to the wire. Yes, absolutely. And it feels like they have a legitimate starting quarterback when you're going to play 2 of 3 that have legit guys at quarterback, whether it be DJ Lagway, Klubnik, and then Ole Miss is obviously going to be a question mark of who they're going to be like when you go through the quarterback room. But then you have South Carolina at home; they have a quarterback.
Yep.
Like
Lenore
the
Sellers.
SEC is in a great spot when it comes to just the overall talent of everybody in the conference. Like Texas A&M has Marcel Reed coming back. Like he'll be able to. He's got playing experience.
Right, and he beat you. Like when
he
you're
did. What do you go 3 for 3?
Well, and that's why when you're LSU and you look at this week 1, you obviously don't want to drop the game in general. But we say that you can be okay even if you lose that game. There's a lot of games that are losable in this game. You're going at Alabama, at Ole Miss, Florida at home, South Carolina home, A&M, like going to Oklahoma. Like you've got some good football teams because you're playing an SEC schedule.
To Vandy.
Don't drop an out-of-conference game week 1. Because you've seen what the SEC schedule is. The teams started cannibalizing each other last year.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to happen again.
It's going to happen every single season. They want to make it 9 games. Like, that makes that week 1 game even more important. LSU's got to be prepared. And like we're talking about, this linebacker room, Harold Perkins, all these guys, that's who the eyes are going to be on week 1. You have to continue to see this development for those guys getting ready for that game. In the chat, we've got this team is not prepared at the start. That's the narrative right now, and rightfully so. Because it's been 3 years, 3 week 1 losses. Florida State, USC. Under Brian Kelly?
Under Brian, you go back.
I mean, it goes back, but under BK.
Yeah, but it's been 4, technically. Yeah. UCLA, correct?
Right. I don't know. I mean, really, it's been 5 because you go to Mississippi State before that.
Oh, that was a brutal game.
Yeah. But under BK, that's the narrative, is that LSU's not prepared.
Well, it doesn't help the narrative around him regardless.
Right.
Like, whenever the conjecture about him is like, and I saw it in the chat, like, oh, what's the story on him? Like, golfing again? Like, you saw him at Pro Day. You saw him doing interviews. He feels like a little different. It feels a little different to where he's more involved, I guess you could say, where it feels like, because, I mean, even last year when we went to, like, was it like fall practices? He was orbiting the team.
Right.
Like, he wasn't as, I mean, I understand, like, he's CEO coach and you want your coaches to coach, but he was just finding things to bitch about because he didn't feel like he really had a role. He was bitching at the Water Boys. Like, now it feels like he's more keyed into what this team, because it's on him. Like,
yeah.
I'll continue to say it. He's out of excuses. With the roster that you have, like the coaches that you have, the recruiting that you did, it's all right in front of you. You have your quarterback coming back. There's not an excuse. And if it's a loss at Clemson, it goes down to what is he going to say? Like, we weren't prepared. You can't be not prepared for the 4th year in a row.
No, there's no more excuses.
I think that's what makes this game so much bigger than. Because I've always argued, like, whenever you've had these, like, week 1 matchups, and it's like, is this more important than, like, would you rather lose this game or an SEC game? And because of how it's played out so far, where okay, you lost at Florida State, you lost Florida State again, you lose to USC, now it's a thing.
Right.
Where I think it does feel more important to win week 1. Because it puts you behind.
Yes.
While it not being a conference game, it's still, like, 4 losses looks ugly, regardless. But it just puts you into, you're going from 1st gear to 5th gear.
Yes.
Like, you can't, there's no room for error anymore.
You lose week 1.
And it's against a team.
Every single SEC game after that is a must-win.
Right.
You saw it last year.
Like, it's a Clemson team that, if it plays out the same way it did last year, where you'll be jockeying for position in a college football playoff. Like if you don't win your conference,
right,
and they don't win their conference, you'll probably be one of the two at-large teams that people, because you're a brand. Clemson and LSU are brands that are, they continue to play well, but you have to pick one, and Clemson beats LSU week 1. They're going to look back at that.
Right. It's going to hold weight.
It holds weight, not just in like stop losing week 1 games, but in terms of like the totality of your season.
Well, when you look back at last year, the LSU loses to USC week 1. They take care of business against, who was it, week 2? Nichols. And then the South Carolina game is a must-win. Like, if the LSU loses that game, you feel like the season's over.
We lost 2 out of 3.
And so then you continue on the season. Ole Miss, must-win. They get it done. That makes Arkansas a must-win. They get that done. And then they go to Texas A&M. That one's a must-win. They don't win it. Then you talk yourself into it, and Alabama's a got-to-win the game. You don't win it. Like, you put yourself behind the 8 ball, where if you beat USC and you drop those 2 games to Alabama and A&M, your season is still very much alive going into Florida.
But you're in the same spot you were last year, where you had USC, and it felt like at the time after the loss, like, oh, maybe they're a potential CFP team. But then you had South Carolina, like your week 3, you have Florida. There's nowhere to hide.
Nope,
and it would feel a lot better starting off 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, going into Florida, and it feels like you can kind of breathe.
Yeah, and Florida's coming to Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, and Sabre Green. Mentally, I won't be okay if we lose. That's where I am.
100%.
I've been okay with some of these games because I convinced myself that the team that you're playing, it might actually be good. I did it with Florida State. They actually were 15-0.
Right.
Did it with Florida State again. They were dog water. And then
they were not that good year 1.
Year 1, not good. Year 2, 15-0.
Yeah.
And then USC, I was like, I mean, Blake Baker did a hell of a job to hold that offense down with like Lincoln Riley, and they have Miller Moss and Zachariah Branch. You're like, oh, I can kind of see it. And like your defense played better than it did at any point the year before. And you're like, I mean, that's a good football team. And then it's like, no, they stink out loud. And LSU just continues to lose to bad teams week 1.
Yeah, no, I was not okay last year because I was there.
Yeah, you put yourself in the ringer.
Like being there made
Imagine if you're there at Clemson, like an away game.
Like I remember walking because in Vegas you had to walk down the interstate essentially. So I'm walking the interstate and there's USC fans in their car hurling things at, like yelling at, and I was just like,
nothing you can do.
I want to jump into the traffic.
You're Steve the Pirate in dodgeball.
100%. Like it was.
Hit me with the milkshake. I don't care.
I can't
nothing
stop it.
I do. I am dressed like a pirate. Freak show. Like yeah.
Can't do it again. I'm right there with you, Sabron. I can't do it again. It'll be a really different Noah from 7 to 9 on whatever the Monday is after that game. But won't it be the next morning? This is a Sunday night game, isn't it?
Another
LSU
reason
gets the
standalone.
The standalone Sunday night. Awesome. So yeah, I'll be right there with you. But we're gonna take a quick break here as we get into the end of hour number 2. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning. We're going to take a quick break, and we will close it out. After that, we're going to let some of these commercials run, so we will be right back after this.
Oh, God, I didn't mute yet. Jesus, keep that to yourself.
Is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com.
Family calls family. That saying resonates even more as your family grows. And we can't seem to stop growing. Meet the newest member of the Get Gordon family, Penny's cousin, Rosie. Rosie already knows. The larger your family, the more people you have to lift you up during trying times. Just like at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, we've grown to over 200 team members with over 50 local attorneys. So whether you pick Penny, employ Ellie, roll with Rosie, or get Gordon, we want to be your lawyers for life.
Your lawyers for life.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
It's rare to find someone you can count on when it's go time. It's even more rare to find someone you can count on, well, all the time. At Sunshine, we're proud to offer the John Deere equipment you need and the team can defend on and off the field. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Hey, Chino. Cut my headphones up, bro. Yeah, right there. What up? Now I'm focused on getting deposits. Evil in the way, now I'm just driving around it. They said I need a soul searching, I already found it. I unlocked my other side, now I'm sounding astounded. Drive by and let it ride like I'm whipping a Tesla. Pressure never fazed me, cause I'm bigger than pressure. I'm on my grind, bullshit, can't fit in my schedule. I'ma do what's best for me, you can keep all your lectures. Spend the summer stacking bread, might be gone to November. Pulling up like Trey Young just to freeze up December. I got niggas on the blood like traditional sinners. OGs love me, so I hang with traditional winners. I took a break for a minute, I had to go charge up. Had to focus on my business, I'm coming back smarter. Hit up DJ, tell him go like I'm dropping the Carter. Coming back like KD, it's time to go harder. Bounce back.
All right, hour number 2 coming to a close here on this Thursday edition, this opening day edition, as Christian has found his way to the chat and said good morning, everybody. Good morning, Christian.
What are you doing?
How's practice?
How's it practice?
He should be at practice. He better be at practice.
He should be.
If he's not at practice,
fired.
He's going to have to break up with his girlfriend.
Yeah, what if he slept in?
Because that would be his excuse. Are you at practice, Christian?
You should be on your phone, unless you're recording.
The conversation continued in the chat. Brian Burgess, I really believe they will right the ship in opening games against Clemson. Malik J says 0 excuses. And then Sam Hanna asks, do y'all think LSU has too many mouths to feed at the wide receiver position?
Only one ball.
Only one ball.
I like the guy that's distributing it, though.
Malik J says, no, Sam, we need all the weapons we can get.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing to have more guns than everyone else at the party.
There's not really a such thing as too many mouths to feed at wide receiver.
I get the
because
sentiment.
you can only have 3 on the field at a time.
You can have 4.
I guess you could have 4. I mean, I guess you
five.
could have 5.
You could have 6.
But, you're really only going to have 3 or 4 on the field at one point.
Yeah.
So,
But, yeah, this becomes a war of, attrition. You have guys that are all extremely talented, all skilled, all vying for playing time. The coaches will have to coach.
Yes.
They'll evaluate and pick the best player for whatever role that it is. But I think that's more of what it's going to be, is finding roles for these guys, whether it be Berrien Brown, Xavier Thomas, Aaron Anderson. They all kind of do the same thing. And obviously the hype around Berrien Brown has gotten to a palpable level.
Yes.
Because of the fastest man in college football. And you also have Nick Anderson, Chris Hilton, sophomores coming back. You have plenty of talent. And then you have add in a Harlan Berry at wide receiver, also can catch passes out the backfield or line up at wide receiver.
Treyez Green.
None of these things are a bad thing to have.
Right.
It's a good problem. It's like LSU with its baseball lineup. You have too many good players. Then it becomes down to picking the right player for the situation.
Well, in football, at some point, somebody's going to get hurt. Like, somebody's probably going to miss time. Like, it's pretty likely in the sport. Like, last year, you were out Chris Hilton. You were out C.J. Daniels. When Kyron Lacey had his knee shook up against Ole Miss, you were looking around like, who's going to catch a pass? You had Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas, and then who next? You know, you were trying to get Shelton Sampson to come along to be a viable option. It wasn't happening. Now, you've got the options. Somebody gets hurt. It's all right. If you're going Nick Anderson, Aaron Anderson, Chris Hilton, one of them gets hurt, boom, there's Barry and Brown. There's Xavier Thomas. There's Kyle Parker. There's Teron Francis. There's Kylan Billiot. Like, you've got the options. There's not really a too many mouths to feed type thing. Basketball, that's kind of a thing because there's only one ball. They're all on the floor together. Somebody can get kind of cocky and want to keep it for themselves, and you're not using whatever.
Showtime.
But football, the coaches are going to put the best guys out there, and you've got to hope that they get it right. And from then on, it's good to have more weapons. Because even if they don't get hurt, somebody's going to get tired. They can't go out there and catch every ball. Sub them in, sub them out. Use the different options you have. LSU's got depth at that spot, and they needed it.
Yeah, that's why it's you heard Joe Sloan talk about the offensive evolution and what he's going to do in year 2 as a play caller for LSU, and that's what that comes down to. Obviously, you have to have improvement on the offensive line in terms of whether it be run scheme, and you saw Alex Atkins doing some different things where LSU was running out of formations they didn't use last year, whether it be Nussmeier under center, whether it be the pistol, whether it be like the orbit motion and like the fly sweeps, like all of those things you should be doing because you have legitimate threats at going east and west when you have guys that are so comfortable handling the football with Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, and all. I mean, you can put Harlan Berry in that mix. You haven't seen it yet, but obviously number 1 running back in the country.
Right.
But like seeing those guys, their ability to go, like you have to respect the speed on the football field. And those guys are all very comfortable taking handoffs, catching passes. Like you're so dynamic, and to see an offense that can capitalize on that would be the best version of LSU because you didn't really utilize that last year. You saw it in spurts.
Yeah.
Like Xavier Thomas line up in the backfield or get a jet sweep, and they do it one time, and you're like, that's
do it again.
Yeah.
Try some more.
One carry for 15 yards, like never again.
Yep,
and
not doing that again.
You do have a lot of mouths to feed, and that includes Caden Durham.
Right.
And like you want to be able to establish a run game, but you have a guy that, and Nussmeier, I think he completed, there's a game last year where he had, 8 completions to 8 different guys. Like, spreading it around is not his problem. He's going to find you.
Right.
And I just think it comes down to a scheme-related thing where you have to put those guys in the proper situations and use them at the right time. And it's not enough, no problem with, how do you keep everybody happy? It's all, if you know your role. And I think that's contingent on the coaching staff.
Yeah, and when you look at, I think the baseball team is such a good example of this, where these guys are all bought in. Like even if they're not getting on the field, to play defense, or they're not getting in the box and getting a chance to swing the bat, like they're bought in and ready for their opportunity. Football needs that same mindset, and I think it starts with having the same goal, and that's what LSU football has, and that goal is, hey, let's go win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go play in the college football playoff. Let's win the whole thing.
It does feel like that is the expectation. Like we as fans, it's always that. It's get to the college football playoff. Like your LSU, they shouldn't. Like what are we talking about? Like 8-4?
Right.
Not negotiable. But it feels like the team is on a different level. When I'll go back to like Blake Baker when he talked about like who they've added through the transfer portal. He's like all guys that have like a business mentality. And not in the NIL sense of like I wanted to make money.
Right.
It's like they're all here for a reason. They all know that.
Yeah, they transferred here for one goal.
Right. And he's like to have these voices in the room of people that are so like the professionalism of it all. Like Mansour Delane, Pyburn, those guys that like come in and the Bauer Sharp.
Right.
Like that's on the offensive side, but he's talking about like where they lead the huddle. And like they came in and immediately there was no like ingratiating themselves to. Right. It's like they immediately like they have the personalities of leaders. And they came in and you added guys that want to lead and want to win.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's that common goal that's going to put LSU in a position to have the guys ready to go to win football games. Like that, that's what it comes down to. They need to be bought in and ready to get after it week number 1. And that's how you cope with the a lot of mouths to feed type deal is give them a common goal to be bought in on. And that common goal is a national championship. The same way it is for baseball.
Yes, and I was perusing an article about LSU baseball. LSU baseball has a walks problem. Here's why it's been an issue for Jay Johnson and staff. And when you look through some of these numbers, it is an interesting dialogue to have because pitchers other than Cowan, Anderson, and Evans, obviously your three bullets, right? Those have been your three best pitchers throughout, whether it be starters or coming out of the bullpen, certainly with Cowan and Evans coming out the bullpen. They walked 9 batters in 12 and a third inning against Texas. Against Missouri the week before, 11 hitters. So those pitchers outside of Cowan, Anderson, and Evans had walked 20 guys in 6 games. And the bullpen, besides Evans and Cowan, gave up 7 runs, 9 hits, and 2 home runs in 4 innings combined over the 2 days against Texas. That's brutal. And then you have senior right-hander Anthony Ianson. Let 5 of the last 9 batters he faced reach base on Saturday, and redshirt sophomore Chase Shorts earned 7 hits. Jay says, ones are better than crooked numbers, but if you do think LSU has a walks problem, it's obviously having to figure out the names outside of Zach Cowan, Kate Anderson,
right,
and Evans.
Case and Evans.
Those are guys that you trust. Those are guys that when you go on an opening day of a series, whether it be Thursday, Friday, that's why you feel so good going into it. And I'll continue to say that you have to let these guys figure it out because you don't have anybody else coming in. Like Gavin Guidry's still on the injury report that was released today, listed as out for game 1. So that story continues to be its own development. But outside of your 3 guys that you trust, you have to have these guys that are going to continue to pitch, and they're going to need to pitch well. You saw William Schmidt come in and get back to like a little bit of sense of normalcy whenever he throws in the midweek, but he came in through the bullpen. And that was a thing that Jay said he wanted to see because we have to get him comfortable in that role. Right. And he took a lot of blame on himself by saying, like, look, I talked about Schmidt in the media. I said I don't think he'll be throwing midweeks anymore. And I just believed it would have such a belief in his ability as a pitcher that I felt comfortable enough to just put him in there. And we didn't really, there was no, thought of him maybe struggling as coming out of the bullpen or anything. It's like, I just know how good of a pitcher he is. Because that's on me to kind of put him in that situation without him ever being in it before. He's he's going to continue to get better.
Right.
There's no real question. That's your joker. That's your, if you get Schmidt right, that's your second guy that you can use out the bullpen as a Zach Cowan that can go 3 or 4 innings and win you a baseball game.
Yeah.
So you're really just one piece away, it feels like. And Connor Ware continues to develop, and you've seen Maverick Rizzi, who looked dominant at times. He's figuring it out a little bit. They're all better than what these numbers or what you just last saw. Because I do believe that Connor Ware is going to be able to figure it out. I do like what I see from Maverick Rizzi continues to get better. Then you still have Zach Cowan, Kason Evans, and then if Schmidt can be a bullpen guy, that's an elite level starter that you have on the back end.
Yeah. And it would be awesome to see that get rolling this weekend. This is a really good opportunity against a solid SEC opponent to get those things kind of ironed out and lined up and ready to go. Because it would be awesome to be able to go into the remainder of the SEC season without having to, with more than just 3 names at pitcher that you're comfortable with. Because you're not going to go very far if it's only 3 guys you're comfortable putting on the mound. If it's Kate Anderson, Zach Cowan, and Kason Evans. Because right now those are the 3 guys that have gone out essentially every single time they've been put out there and performed.
Right. That's
to the level at which you expect at LSU. Now, I think Ianson can be there, and there's more guys like Schmidt, like Ware, where you need them to come along shorts to get LSU to that point. So it's a really good opportunity this weekend. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night as we watch game number 2 along with LSU women's basketball Sweet 16 versus NC State live here in the watch party format. You can just come hang out with us, and Christian will probably be here. We'll see who else we can get up in here. See if we can get more than just 2 faces to enjoy some baseball and some basketball. Because it's a good week. It's going to be a good weekend for LSU. Starting off tonight, LSU versus Mississippi State at, I think, 7 p.m. tonight.
Let's see.
Is the time?
I do believe so.
It's the first pitch time, 7 p.m., LSU versus Mississippi State. 3rd SEC series of the year, as LSU is, 4-2?
Yes. tied for second in the league.
Second in the conference.
But you have LSU baseball tonight. Sweet 16 starts tonight.
Yes.
And then you have women's Sweet 16 over the weekend. So sports are going to be in your face for the majority of this weekend.
It's a good weekend.
Because they took a little pause, obviously, after March Madness starts, and they get their time to go back home, go back to dorms, do whatever. And it's a good, hard reset to restart the Sweet 16. You kind of get your energy back for it. But I think it was Alabama, maybe, that went straight to New York. They didn't go back to the crib. And I don't know what that does, but that's a long time to be away from, to be in a different city and staying in hotels as opposed to traveling back home and then
being
going.
in your bed.
But, yeah, interesting start.
It is. So it's going to be a weekend full of sports, I guess is the best way to word that. A weekend full of sports with basketball, with baseball.
Your bracket's busted, huh?
My bracket is absolutely ruined. I had St. John's winning the whole thing. The Godfather got me. I thought I was going to get to see Rick Pitino in that white suit in the national championship game. And it's not going to happen. Sabrion asked, does UCLA have a dominant person other than Betts? They have very skilled guards, and they play a different style of basketball, and Betts isn't on the floor, so they are skilled. But Betts is that's their end-all, be-all. That's their entire really game plan in a game is to dominate the interior with Betts.
I'm putting in this parlay. LSU women's
let's hear
basketball. Oh, 3-point spread still.
LSU's still the favorite?
Yes. 3-point favorites against North Carolina State. Let's see. Where's LSU baseball? They don't put it out yet. You can bet on Jared Jones to win the Golden Spikes, though.
Okay.
And LSU plus 550, second highest odds.
Who's the favorite to win the Spikes? The LeBron kid?
Yeah. Speaking of LeBron.
How about the LeBron-versation?
LeBron-versation. I think a lot of people got their eyes up to LeBron, whether good or bad, but I think he absolutely crushed that.
I think he nailed it.
Where you don't get a long form with LeBron often. It feels like his words or whatever is always are short little tidbits that are always spun and taken out of context and talk painted as it's always LeBron Jordan or it's nobody they don't like him or they do, but it's never all of his
love him or hate him.
Right, all of his stuff gets he never gets to explain himself. And it felt like he had an hour and a half conversation with McAfee and his crew where it felt like he humanized himself in a way where it's he's just a normal dude.
He joked around about the reading the books and the lying, and he talked about the Stephen A. stuff, and he talked about
Brian Windhorse.
Poor Brian Windhorse just got punched in the face. And then he goes out and he hits a game winner and keeps his record alive by scoring 10 in the fourth quarter. Which I thought I had a late workout last night.
Yeah, because of Josh.
And was watching the Lakers game actually on the television, and I was like, oh, he's not going to do it. He's not going to score 10 points. That record's going to be, the streak's going to end, and Stephen A.'s going to go on tomorrow morning and talk about how LeBron shouldn't have been talking about him and should have just, and I was like, whatever.
Well, he hit a game winner.
Then he hit a game winner. But according to Skip Bayless, easiest game winner
in the history of basketball.
In the history of basketball, who put out a 15-minute video talking about LeBron.
What is he going to do when he retires? Retire?
Die.
Speaking of game winners, Sporkle, Wordle?
Let's do it. Let's win
Which
something.
One?
Laces or spaces? Laces is Sporkle. Spaces is
Wordle. Wordle.
I guess that didn't really count. I was kind of in the middle.
You can do that all day.
That's spaces. Wordle.
Let's keep our streak
Brian
alive.
Burgess. I keep thinking today is Friday, but
See?
every day is Friday to me.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you lucky dog. But you put in the hours.
I don't understand people that when they retire or think that they're going to oh, I'm a working man. I could never see myself retired. Nope. I have to move around, I have to do stuff. Brother, there is nothing better than doing nothing.
Nope.
So enjoy it.
Nothing better.
Don't feel like you have to do something.
I'm impressed that you're awake right now watching this. I'd be asleep.
All right.
Biggest wants us to do adieu.
Again?
Again. He wants us to run it back with adieu. I-E-U.
I-E-U. Adieu.
Okay.
E in the right spot. I'll take it.
E in the right spot. So we've got Let's see. Let's go Foley. Foley. Like Mick Foley from WWE.
Is that can it be a name?
Okay, let's go. What do we? Is that our? So that's our only vowel. Vowels are gone. We've only got one vowel, and it's an E in that spot. But I guess you can use 2 E's. Hater.
Which there are plenty.
Let's see if we can get okay. Let's go. So we need a T-H-E. Go T-H. No O.
I'm trying to think of a. Obviously, the teenagers are going to go together, right?
Mm-hmm. I would assume.
The more you look at it, the harder it gets.
Mm-hmm. See, someone said Sheet. Sheet from Dwayne Dumars.
That sounds right.
Sheet. I like that. Let's see it. Dwayne! Dwayne!
His name?
It's Dwayne Dumars. Come on. Shout out to Dwayne. Nailed it. Is that 3 days in a row?
Yeah, we got quite the streak going here. It does help when you have the minds of the masses.
Yes. We've got a team behind us. How about that? Shout out to Dwayne. But didn't make it to quite to 9 a.m. this morning, but we're going to get out of here a little early, discuss some big business, and we'll be back tomorrow morning from 7 to 9 to recap LSU baseball versus Mississippi State tonight.
I never get to look at the chat because I'm like putting the game in, but it's so funny. Like, thank you all for all playing. This is great. Through, sheet, tenant, no H, sheaf. No R. Thief.
No, stop.
Sheet.
Only one E.
Botex.
Oh,
no.
snap.
Thief.
Sheet.
Snap. Sheet.
Botex.
Dwayne's a genius.
How about that? Come on.
What is Athletic Connections?
I have no idea. I've never. Connections.
Is the New York Times just a bunch of quizzes now?
Okay, let's just. I guess so. Let's do a connections then. I've
Time
never done this ever before.
Oh,
in my
me either.
life.
I don't even know how to play. I went straight through the directions.
That's all right. Well, we're gonna figure it out. I think I might. If you put it on the screen, I think I might recognize it, because my dad does a lot of the New York Times games. Brian Burgess, you guys have an awesome and blessed rest of your day. I pray God showers you with his love. Go Tigers. Ditto.
Create four groups of 4. What does that mean?
You need a. 1 second.
Do you know how to play this? Are you Googling it?
No, I'm texting Christian back. He was asking something. Put it up on the screen.
Oh.
Okay, so what you're trying to do is you're finding a way to make 4, like you're matching 4 things together. So 4 different groups of 4. So like slider, change up.
I can do like pitches.
So slider, change up, splitter, ephus are all a pitch, are they not?
Yes.
And so submit that. Nope. Yep. So see, those are all baseball pitches. So now you've got, what? Cardinals, Athletics.
Right, so we'll take this one out. We'll do this.
Those are all 4 teams.
This is fun.
And then we've got
teams with the most World Series titles. Okay.
Wrigley, Chase, Target, Angel. Are those all stadiums?
I guess. I know Wrigley is. I know Chase is. Target probably. Let's see.
Come on.
There
and
we
then
go.
there's the last 4. Oh my gosh.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's our new one. That's
Come
the
on.
easiest shit.
Come
Let's go. Perfect.
Come on.
15 hours, I'll be back.
Dude, we just absolutely rolled through that bad boy.
I think we found our one. It's for like.
This is what fits our brain. Like,
yeah.
Kind of work. Is there like normal connections? I kind of want to do more connections.
I don't know. That's the one though. That's the game.
Just look up connections. You might as well have some more fun.
Hint? Who the fuck would need a hint for that?
Yeah, I mean we just nailed that. That was I have to believe that
was
it's
that
not
easy?
that easy every time.
I don't know
because that was easy.
It might just be right where we like that might
like
be
our
tism.
wheelhouse.
That might be right in the honey hole.
Yeah, I mean like because I saw Splitter and Ephus and I was like pitches.
Yeah, pitches. All right, they have just a normal one.
Okay, let's do that one then.
Thank you, Brian Burgess.
See if we can figure this out. This might not be quite as much in our wheelhouse.
It's the same game though.
Fonz, this is what my son's kindergarten class uses. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Damn it.
Thanks, dude. Way to ruin it.
He's smarter than a 4-year-old.
Okay, let's see.
Well, no pressure.
Oh gosh, this is so much different.
I almost can't even think of it now. Chip, scratch. I thought it was golf.
Let's see.
Oh God.
Jeez, this is okay. It says shuffle it. Biggest said shuffle it. Okay. See if this helps us out.
Yeah, nice.
Right. Correct. Ding. Green. Or no,
Bingo.
no. Bingo.
That's it.
And ding.
That's a 1.
Let's go.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Knock that one out quick. All right. Wave, sway, change, move. Nope.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We got 3 more mistakes going.
Move. Wave.
Okay. Fawn said reach, wave, touch, sway.
Reach.
And then instead of move, it's touch.
Okay, like that. I mean,
nope.
Oh.
Okay. I feel like touch has to go with scratch.
Okay, we're at 3
Or no. Let's see. Shuffle it again.
What is scratch chip?
Scratch, chip, touch.
Chip is the one that's telling me something.
Green, scratch, paper, change. Money.
What is that?
Good job, Burgess. Green is money. Scratch is
Oh,
money. Paper
nice.
is money. Change
I was
is
so
money.
stuck on golf.
Yep. Shout out to Brian Burgess.
Nice.
Money slang. Okay, so now we've got. Let's see.
What could these be?
Move, sway.
Phone.
Yeah, where does phone fit? Phone, wave.
Oh, communication.
Yep. Wave, reach.
Touch.
Yeah. Try that one. Nope.
Fuck. What? These are. Damn it. I'm doing the sports ones.
It's okay. It's okay.
Move, sway.
Uh-huh.
Those 2 things make sense. Where am I swaying? Am I swaying somebody to something? Am I reaching out with a phone?
Shuffle them again.
I don't like
this. Helps us
shuffle.
out.
It confuses me. Reach, touch. What does chip have to do with any of this?
Fawn said move, reach, sway, touch. Sway an opinion or sway like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Scope
do
like this?
Do move, reach, sway, touch, and then let's look at the other ones.
Move, reach,
sway,
touch, and then scope, chip, wave, phone.
That doesn't. Those don't make sense to me. Scope, chip, wave, phone. Sway.
Chip. What are we chipping? Are we chipping away? Are we chip off the old block?
Or
Phone.
So you can sway someone's emotions.
Yeah,
they can be
sway an
moved.
opinion,
They can be touched. The scope of an emotion, and then it'll be phone reach, chip wave. Oh, Travis is a genius. Microwave, microchip, microscope, microphone.
Wow.
Travis, you dog.
Microscope?
Yep, microphone, microchip, microwave.
That's
Travis,
impressive.
You monster. You monster,
Move,
Travis.
reach, touch, sway. We were there.
Yeah.
Micro is incredible.
Micro.
Effect. That was great, Travis.
That was good stuff, Travis. That's impressive.
Are you a kindergartner? I had this one in class today. Travis.
That officially made it to 9 a.m. this morning. Good job. Great job. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9, with more of the Jordy Culotta Show. Appreciate you guys. Travis, you're a genius. I love you.
Wait, was Fonz right then, too?
Well, what did Fonz say? Move, reach, sway, touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. You're good. Good job, Fonz.
Good job.
I love you, too.
We didn't have it. I wasn't going to
No,
get
it
that.
wasn't us.
It wasn't
It
us
definitely
today.
wasn't us. But the
that
sports
one y'all suck my dick. That was easy, and I don't know. I can't wait to play again tomorrow.
I know. We should probably open the show with it.
Yeah. We just get stuck on it. Like, never mind.
Oh, forget it. So.
Come out to the box. Go Tigers. Love you.